So yeah, I think so we can start. So if you want to turn on your mics and join the discussion, it would be nice. So we have like a really good week. This week, like we was listed on the coin market cap, so that was big step. After CoinGecko was a lot quicker than was on CoinGecko anyway. Uh, we reached 2K on Discord users and another 20K of neurons. It looks like will be probably we have 8 Satori to be staked now on the neuron. Now we'll be like facing over 9 probably this weekend if everything goes smooth and well. Maybe even tomorrow. So yeah, that's good. That's good. I think so. The now will be like 10 Satori will be maximums that will be stacking now on the neurons because that is our limit for now anyway. And yeah, that's how we are going now. So you have any question, guys? Because like we don't have any agenda on that meeting, so it's whatever you want to ask or whatsoever.
Well, if no one takes the word, then I'll do. Manuel speaking here. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to know if there are plans on extending the maximum amount of neurons, which is currently at 20K, to a higher level at a certain point of time.
Yeah, so we was talking about that, but like if it is not solution for the long time because even if we extend to the 25, 30, 35K of neurons, uh, when we reach that point, we'll be going back to exactly the same discussion. So for
No
now,
doubt. Huh?
yeah, for now we stay on 20K, and
Yeah. Yeah.
everything is very dynamic. So what will be next week? I can't say you that. No.
Why is that? Because I would like naturally I would say like the more neurons you have, the more predictions you can do, and the more data you can work on. Huh? I mean, it's like the simple approach, I would say. Is that right? Is that not right?
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. You have completely right. But we're still working on the P2P network that will be work that neuron will be communicating each other. So until we reach that point, we'll be slowly increasing and testing database on the neurons. So for now, the 20K of neurons is very safely for whole Satori network. I don't know you was at the beginning when we starting the project. We have like sibling attacks and was like good few more thousand of neurons. Like was I think so was 80,000, and the whole network get glitched like and blocked. So we don't want to go on that
Hmm.
way again. So until the like probably P2P will be ready to go and we test the network that is able to get more neurons, will be still sitting on the 20K or 25 maybe and starting slowly testing how the network will go with the more neurons. That's
Yeah.
the point of keeping the 20 neurons limits, you know.
Okay. So to not overwhelm the network, basically, yeah, and to not cause congestions
That
and stuff.
that that's
Yeah.
correct. That's correct. That's the point. What we keeping 20K of neurons for
Yeah.
now. Anyway,
Yeah.
uh, yeah,
Okay. Cool. Thanks a lot. Interesting.
no problem. Like I say, like was like we just put the 8 Satori to the neurons. Like when was that? 3 days ago, and probably we will be facing Saturday or tomorrow or even Sunday will be probably 9. And for this month, 10 will be maximum what we can reach because will be no more Satori. Everyone is putting Satori on stake, and we don't have
Yeah,
any
it's
liquidity to go any exchange even like so we don't go
it,
on that way.
it seems like it's like exponentially growing, huh? Or this or exponentially going down the time frame between getting another Satori in the stake and another one and another one. Huh?
Yeah, that's correct. Was like I don't remember exactly the numbers, but I think so. The first one was 54 days take. The next one was 30, 14, and now we like be like 3, 4 days.
Uh,
Yeah. So we're growing really fast, and that's good actually. Yeah. Someone asked about marketing. What about marketing? Yeah, we try get like kind of not putting a lot of effort on the huge marketings. Like we don't want to go on that like kind of crypto bro, like spamming huge marketing thing. We don't want to do something like that. We just want to like have organic growing for now anyway, and we will see when on what way that will be go. That Vic was asking on the chat. Yeah, I try to read your questions. So I just reminded that I try to record that meeting and probably will be later on the YouTube. So because the last one, many people also asking I record it or not. So that's the first time I doing that. So maybe some kind of glitchy still.
Hello? Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
yeah, we can hear you.
The staking has a plus side too. More people keep their Satori in their own wallets instead of the exchange, like most other projects. So that's another plus point, if you ask me.
Oh yes, yes, that's completely correct. Like you're saying, we see that every day. Like people don't want to sell satoris. When they get satori, they keeping them on the wallets, and that's I never see that before in the like kind of like crypto world that someone will be keeping for so long and not selling because it's still getting more and more satori. So now for today, like average payment was per Monero was 0.06, I think so 64 or 62. I don't remember the numbers. So for in the next few months, probably we will be moved at zero again, like so it will be less and less. Yeah, so I know the meta is busy today. I don't think so he will be with us today. Uh, I don't know where the other guys are, if they will be joined or not. So the next step we have like kind of plan, finish the website, reorganize all the website and start putting those kind of search bar that will be start working. So the work what the neurons are doing now, they will be first time they will be like you will have access to that work. You can ask over the website about the questions and that should be a work before to end of this year. Yeah, yeah. If that everything will be go smooth, yeah.
To get into more detail about peer-to-peer stuff. Peer-to-peer updates.
Yeah, I'm not the person who should say about peer to peer like where the guys are now. I know that they still working on that on the peer to peer, and it's in progress. It's in progress. They testing it, and the first test was fine. So it's like many things are happening now in the Satori project. So it's like few different path and the way that we are working on it. And like peer to peer, the next one is like working the whole network, how it works. The another one is like Satori associations, and one more is like website and large language model that is one dev is working on that and should be starts in few weeks maybe. Hope before end of the year. So it's few things happen on the same time. So I can't say I can't answer that question about the peer to peer. I'm afraid.
Alright. Do you know which dev is working on that? So we can ask them in the future.
Yeah, the most of the dev works you can you can ask Meta about it because he is organized all the works for the devs, and he will be the person who will be give you answer on all those questions. He said that maybe he will be jump in for a few minutes, so we'll be maybe have time to ask him about those questions, and he will be explain more about this. So yeah, I see many was discussion today about the pool operators. Is anyone from the pool? Someone from the pool operators here? They're very active on the
Yeah,
chat. So
yeah, I'm here.
who's there?
This is
Sorry.
Nifty Raven.
Oh
This is
yes.
Zen.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. Not too bad. So yeah, I was thinking like because we have like pool operators and we want when we try to so kind of authorize those pools because to keep all users secure that if we authorize some pools they will be like kind of tested by us like they you know what I mean maybe.
Yeah, I think that's good. Security measures taken.
Yeah, exactly. So we will be know like we have now we have like 3-4 pools operators and if will be growing probably will be more and more coming. So how to make users, how to let them know that those pools are okay and some of them are kind of, doing side to job or whatsoever. So that kind of idea to give some kind of verification certificate even or something like that. What you think
But
so?
I think that it might hurt Satori because at the end of the day, let's say that people are staking with Zen and I've got $500,000 in Satori, and when I hit 500,001, I want to take off and disappear into the woods. Even though you gave everybody the go ahead saying that Zen was safe, it doesn't stop the ability for somebody to take your coins and run. That's all based on trust and experience and blockchain, and there's a million reasons, but I think that it would be bad because if that in the case that ever did happen, you gave, you know what I mean, you would have gave the permission to, let's say, Nifty Raven, like, oh hey everybody, it's okay to use Nifty Raven, they're trustworthy, and then Nifty Raven dips.
Oh yeah, so I see your point now, but on that kind of case, did we should be like promote them on the Discord server or just legalize them, put them on the like channel, like pool channels, like pin them to the topic or what or something like that, because that is kind of like if we do that, it's actually kind of authorized by us that they are safe.
Yeah,
Anyway, yeah,
it's
go on.
it'll do the same thing if you have a pool channel, and either way it's hard. It's gonna be a hard to hard choice for Satori to determine with the pool operators.
Yeah, it is because the main thing is like keep all our users and community safe. The first step was that they don't must send Satori. They still own of the Satori. So what they can lose the distribution, day distribution. If the pool operator will be say, okay, goodbye and that's it. Yeah. So that's actually not bad. And we was just worried that if some new pools will be showing up, they will be asking for the sending Satori to them. So they will be like kind of red light straight away.
I think that no matter what, it would be a red light if they're trying to go with trying to go with custodial route, because just like any business, if whether it's a bank or anything popping up in the real world, are you going to trust this person to invest your money with, or that's brand new, never it's all business, and
Can I
most of the time.
chime in real quick? I think we'll curious out the real solution here is education. Like I really think Satori should stay kind of like at the infrastructure level. You should not police, but you should educate those that are kind of like entry level users to understand what is the meaning of the pool. Why is it like I've actually been interacting through DMs with people that are kind of interested in realizing why should I actually put my coins into a pool? What's the purpose of a pool? Like what is a safe pool or not, right? And I think education is key. The distribution and the non-central authority is kind of like at the core of the ethos of the blockchain and distributed networks, right? So anything that would block or define a arbitrary position to taking advantage of capabilities of the platform, I think it's a step in the wrong direction. Education, I think, is the key here.
But that's also a perception as well. One can see it as trying to take control over a network, or one can see it as giving users that don't have the capabilities to run neurons abilities to stake.
Oh, I agree. I think the pools are a phenomenal resource. Well, I guess what I'm saying is providing education to the users in having the right criteria for selecting a pool, right?
Agreed.
Understanding how to securely integrate with a pool. and also even providing guidance as to what should you expect back in terms of transparency from your pool. Like I think that's general knowledge, but users should be free to choose, right? Like freedom is at the core.
Oh yeah, no, that's completely fine. That is already exists because they can switch from one pool to another in the one day, like in the distribution day. So that's the plus. But about education, yeah, that's good. That's good what you point on that because we should be start work with the pool operators about that education to the users because that would be exactly big profit for the pool operators to bring more people that okay, I don't need VPS. I can put Satori in the pool and they will be do everything for me. Like
Agreed. And I think it's cool. So, and the reason that this is relevant for me is because I'm kind of working on the whole kind of get set up an infrastructure for spinning up my own pool. Um, I think there is a lot of incentive for kind of like pool existing pool operators and aspiring pool operators to build that type of kind of like knowledge base and community outreach to help people make the right choices, right? So I think that's a resource that Satori as a foundation should leverage because we have an incentive, right, to be beyond just the traditional coin holder.
Should we go so far as to say no non-custodial pools unless you're grandfathered already? At least not advertised on Discord or on any web pages?
How will you stop them?
You can't stop them. We can not advertise non-custodial on here. I mean, Nifty's been
Yeah,
around forever and it's
I
different.
think that advertising non-custodial is bad. It's a liability for Satori. You know, as I
No, what I'm
I
saying
hate to
is
say that, but
not allowing it. Yeah. I mean, if I know yours is non-custodial. I can't stop somebody from running a non-custodial thing, but I don't want people saying, "Hey, here's my non-custodial pool here on the Discord or the or web wherever we decide to, however we decide to support pools."
I agree 100%. Except I think that even with the exception that even I don't think that just because that I was here first means that we should get grandfathered in, because then you're just gonna have other pools be like, well, that's not fair. Not to shit on my own pool, but I think that you know just say this is a pool, and whether it's self custody or custodial, it's on the pool.
Wouldn't you say that like a proper approach, not to have any grandfathering or central control, is like, shouldn't there be like just a Satori poollist.com where people can vote? This was a good pool for me. This wasn't. Like I think like community forces should drive decision making, right? Like I can give a thumbs up or a thumbs down to a pool that I'm a user of, right? I can share comments about it, right? But like it's an open market. So and even like if somebody goes out there and says, "Hey, I'm a pool. Here's my address. You need to send me your coins." That's not even the real pool concept. That's not even using the pool technology that is built to the network, right? So I really think, like personally, like having a way for the community to help each other drive those decisions, for Satori not to not attempt to control, but rather provide kind of like, I don't know, the tools and framework for users to be able to make educated choices, seems like the more decentralized, community driven, democratic quote unquote approach to this. Like I don't think anybody should be allowing or denying that the user should have kind of like a solid foundation to pick, and a reasonable range of knowledge to identify this is safe or this is not, right?
I mean, you can feel free to put a site up like that, but I think in the end, the Satori team shouldn't have to worry about pools, because in the end, the idea for pools was because we started staking, but the staking wasn't really in the plans anyways.
I agree 100% with Seal, and
So we don't need to babysit the pool list, and everyone can put a good review, and then the next day the pool owner can change his payout mechanism, because that's out of the team's control. No point in there already is the channel where the non-custodial pools are
Because then
allowed.
why would it stop at the pools? You know what I mean? Because then you got custodial exchanges, and then would Satori have to go and review every exchange that's custodial?
Yeah, exactly.
Agreed. Yeah, I agree.
Also,
And
Metal
no one-
Stack is here. Can we talk about peer-to-peer?
Yeah, I see the meta is show up, so maybe you with us?
I'm here. What's up?
Oh
Yeah,
yes.
hello. I was wondering what exactly the peer-to-peer system was going to be, if you can give us some insights. So what can we expect from peer-to-peer?
So, peer-to-peer, yes. We've done a lot of research into this technology and what's available out there. And we found that Docker, running inside Docker as we do, poses some challenges. Like it poses the challenge because Docker double nats everything. And so peer-to-peer is even harder when you're running Docker in most cases. But we think we found some pretty good solutions. We had one solution at the start, but it wasn't generalizable enough. It didn't apply to everybody enough. So we think we found a better solution using WireGuard and being able to connect everybody up using WireGuard. We wanted a solution where you ideally didn't have to open ports on your router or anything like that. We wanted it to be as simple as possible. You can just run the program and you're good to go. But that's pretty hard to do. So we are testing out WireGuard, making sure it works correctly. And if people are in a strange situation where they're behind this very strict NAT or firewall or something, then they might have to open ports. But ideally, most people wouldn't really have to deal with that kind of stuff. So that's the bottom layer of the peer-to-peer network. We're also going to have, on top of that, you need some kind of routing system or some kind of packet routing so that you can talk to anybody else on the network. And we were planning on starting very, very simply for that, connecting up directly to the peer that you need to get data from, because we already kind of have a network structure that works well for that. For instance, if your neuron is subscribing to maybe 20 or 30 data streams, then it could connect up to those peers directly and ask for those data streams directly. So we're implementing that first for historic data only, and then we'll also include the up-to-date data once we have that working well. And then we'll circle back to all data. So every node has a bunch of data. It not only generates data, but it keeps, if it's an oracle, but it also generates predictions. And it's going to keep the history of all of that data on its own node. We're going to use Merkle roots and whatever we have to be able to create a record on a daily basis of hashes so that we can just hash all that data and not have to keep it all on the blockchain. But that way, in perpetuity, if your node wants to know how good a different node has been at predicting something, it can ask for the data. And the other node isn't able to lie because the hash of that, historic way in the past data is saved on the blockchain. And so we have this system planned out, but it's just we got to implement it. We're kind of at the bottom stages of just getting the WireGuard working correctly. I don't know if that answers your question. Anything specific you wanted to go into?
So, for example, would it be wise to split up the current neuron? Like, let's say I'm creating a data stream. Would a separate node, just a separate program for that, be wise? If you're going peer-to-peer, so I can have my workers and predictors as a separate program, and my data stream is one program.
If I understand you correctly, yeah, it shouldn't really matter. I guess would the data stream be an oracle? Would it be like a neuron that's running?
I guess it wouldn't run like predictions. It would only create the stream. So
Okay,
that's
and then
like more defined.
yeah, that's no problem. And if we have to make a running mode just for like oracles because you don't want it to be predicting all the time, we can do that, no problem.
Because with this system, you wouldn't have to download the engines or like a 1 gigabyte file or have your CPUs running. You just point to the pool or you just run it as your main delegate and then just turn it off. Kind of like
Oh, I
a
see.
built-in
Yeah,
wallet
right.
that
In that
connects to
case,
the main system.
right. Good point. That would even be like you're envisioning like a slimmed down
Yeah, because I have some
Docker image.
family members I would like to like get into Satori, but they don't want to install Docker and then have it auto run every time they open their computer. They just want like a simple GUI like system. I think Zeroth was also talking about this in the Magic Wallet, that you could stake from within Magic Wallet.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like they're looking for a wallet, not really a neuron.
Yeah, but one that can connect to the network. Because currently, how
Right.
I see it, you create your vault and that gets registered, right?
That's right. It gets registered.
So I can't appoint my own wallet as a vault because it has to be generated as a vault, is how I
Good point.
understand it.
Okay, yeah.
Hey, may I
Look,
just a quick note? I'm building exactly that right
oh
now.
yeah,
Because
cool.
yeah, because kind of like the way that I saw it is, because I'm spinning up a pool. I want to kind of like just have a downloadable binary from my pool that automatically basically initializes a vault in a wallet, brings like a little UI where the user can just enter the password. And I'm actually using Satori Server Client and Evermore Wallet classes directly in the code. So I can basically just call any Satori Server Client method from this little UI, right? So I can basically do anything that has to do with kind of like managing kind of like the communication between the kind of like my slimmed down neuron with the Satori server through my wallet from a very slim Python code. So like there might be a use case beyond just my slim pool installer because they
Oh,
wanted to automate the whole process.
that's awesome. Sounds great. Yeah, I think
Okay.
it does sound like a wallet solution, not necessarily a neuron solution where you have to download everything.
Yeah, it is definitely not a neuron. And it's basically, and this is kind of like something that I wanted to talk at some point since I'm already using kind of like raw classes from the Satori code base. Like I'm worried about breaking changes that I have to deal with when they happen. So
Yeah.
kind of having visibility. I think as more builders, as more developers start working directly with the Python code and start kind of like extending it or leveraging those classes for custom solutions, having some visibility as to what might be a breaking change going into the code base will become relevant at some point. But in any case, I didn't want to sidetrack the conversation. Just FYI, whoever was talking, I'm building that, so I'll reach out on Discord and I can chat a little bit about it. End of message.
All right, cool. Anyone else has a topic they want to go over?
Yeah, it's me again. I have a question. So far we have been talking kind of technically, but if we look at the business side or at the real world application side, what does the ideal Satori client look like when they want to use the functionalities of predicting something? And do you already have plans of working together with a company who's using the functionalities Satori is providing?
Did you say specifically ETL?
No, no. I mean, just thinking about whatever business could hop on predictions and work with the predictions the Satori network creates. Who is the perfect client you would approach for using the Satori network?
That's a good question. The first and foremost, my main concern is building the world model. The world model that predicts all of the largest, most big picture data streams in the world. And I figure that if we're able to build the engine that does that well and distribute it on the network and and all these neurons and everything, then the engine itself will be an asset that businesses will want to use, and also the network itself will be an asset that businesses want to use. So I'm not really I don't know, like I have an intuition about what those businesses might be, but I am not focused on providing those solutions at this time, so it's not really my main goal. The goal of the network is just to be able to predict the future for everybody, and I think that's the right goal to have in mind, especially at this stage, because it has a token, and so I don't know. It feels like if you're going to make a project that has a token, purchasing power, all the purchasing power that the token accrues is communal. That's a communal asset, or it comes from a communal source. It comes from everybody. And so you should create a public good that everybody can benefit from, and it should be as general as possible. Make it available to everybody and make it something that everybody might want. And so that's kind of the goal at this point. But if I had to come up with an answer for your question, it would basically be that all data science has an aspect of predicting the future. I mean, every time somebody asks a question to their business intelligence group or something, they're basically trying to predict the future so that they can, make a choice. But they usually couch the question in terms of, which choice would be better, A or B, But at the bottom of that is a layer of prediction. It's well, if we take these assumptions about the future, then it'll be that way. Or if you take these assumptions, then it'll be that way. And so what you're really asking is, what assumptions should we take when we think about what the future will be? And so knowing that is like the most fundamental, useful piece of information, I know that it will be able to feed all kinds of questions. So that's one reason why I'm just not even worried about specifically defining exactly which business is going to use this, because it's going to be useful for everybody if we can just get the network up to a point where it can make a world model.
I love it.
Yeah, I got another question, or you can go ahead first.
Well, I was just going to comment on that a little bit. I think that is where it needs to be. Build it and they will come. But, to expand a little bit on what you were asking, what kind of businesses, I think it's, as a community member, I've been thinking about that quite a bit. One I went and did a little research on was shipping logistics. And I found out there's 5 large programs out there that all supply data to all the different brokers and shipping people out there, and it could be where the ships are, where they're fueled. It could be weather data. It could be basically geolocation data, times at port congestion, unloading times at different ports, and then where I see Satori as a module that if you're a shipping broker and you're using all those programs to figure out how your company is working, I would want to use Satori to add in the wave heights in, halfway around the world, and the fuel supplies or the fuels that's shipping at different prices in different places, and wind gusts, and everything that an AI engine could bring in that we as humans couldn't even comprehend, that could affect the way that ship's going to be, or where it's going to be, or how fast it's going to be next week. I mean, I could see Satori telling ships to travel, oh, you need to take the route 20 miles north because next week you're going to get there and save yourself 50, half a ton of heavy oil fuel and half a day of travel, where you wouldn't see that as humans, trying to put that all together. And that's just one use case where I could see vast amounts of savings and where a business would want to use that.
So I got something to add to this. For example, when you say a business uses Satori, how would this business use Satori? Would they provide their data in a data stream and then just hope that people start predicting it? Because how I see it at the moment, the Satori token doesn't have much use besides being staked. Could it be possible that this business can put forward a reward on specifically this stream, so that when people predict on this stream, they get extra rewards? So it basically incentivizes the use of Satori to predict the businesses' data streams, so they can actually make use of the network.
What you described is what we made. I mean, if you go to the Satori website and you watch the explainer video, it'll go through like the first goal, which is what we're working on right now, and then what you've described, which is the layer 2, or second goal of Satori, which is once you have a network that is capable of prediction, then you can open up a marketplace so that businesses, just like you mentioned, could route their data to the network, and like you said, like put up a bounty or whatever, pay for a subscription of prediction for on those data streams. Yeah.
In addition, would it be possible to provide like my own engine
Absolutely.
specifically with my data stream?
Yes, you can do that now, technically, if you're a coder. But yes, the engine is agnostic. I mean, the protocol is agnostic. As long as you're making predictions, you can make them in any way you deem, best. We wanted to include, though, an automatic engine, because we know most people are not data scientists or coders or anything. So we felt like we don't want to put that burden on people. A lot of other projects actually do put that burden. They say, okay, data scientists or modelers or whoever, come build your models on our platform, and that's great. But that seems like there's a lot of scaling issues there because there's not a lot of those people, and if you don't have to have them build models, if you can constrain the space down, which we've done, down to just time series prediction, then you can build an automated solution and include it in. So, but if you wanted to switch it out, you totally could. Yeah.
I envision like basically, you know how the Ethereum network is very competitive with its mining software. For example, if there's a GPU engine for a data stream, and that data stream provides extra rewards in Satori, that could also like start a gold rush for people to optimize this engine, and then they can get rewards from that as well. So they could optimize, for example, the GPU miner specifically for this stream or this engine, and then we could even have streams just for CPUs, streams just for GPUs, depending on how the engine works, right? In theory.
Perhaps. When I think of the streams just for GPUs, like you put it, or vice versa, just for CPUs, I think of the entropy of the stream and how well it's correlated with other things. If it's really got high entropy and it's really very chaotic and hard to correlate, maybe it's correlated with a lot of other data streams, then it's probably best for GPU. But if it's low entropy, it's pretty easy, it's got well-defined patterns inside of it, then it's probably applicable or approachable by a CPU miner. So, but it all depends, I think what really it depends on is the Satori neuron is going to be running on all kinds of software or hardware. And so we've tried to make the engine so that it can choose which algorithms it's going to use relative to not only the data, but the hardware. So if it is, maybe it doesn't care too much about what the data is. It's going to use, if it only has CPUs available to it, that's all it's going to be able to do. So I guess first and foremost, it seems like it's hardware centric, whatever algorithms it uses. And then secondly, it just tries to optimize for hardware and then optimize for the actual data.
Wouldn't that phase out most CPUs anyway? If we go based by predictions, that you get your rewards based on your prediction, a GPU will most likely in most cases outpredict a CPU, right?
Well, it's hard to say. You get the benefit of GPUs when you have lots and lots of data. But what if a data stream doesn't really have much data? So running a neural net on it isn't really that valuable. Now, when you're comparing to like hashing, it seems like you're doing this comparison to what exists now out there in the blockchain world, which is a lot of hashing. And when you're comparing to those kind of algorithms, they're very set in stone. I don't know. It doesn't seem like the right comparison because when you are intelligence mining, there's all kinds of algorithms you can use, and there's all kinds of ways to make a model. And so we're looking for the best way to make a model given not only the data stream and the hardware, but also the context in time. It can change which model would be better over time. And so for that reason, it seems like prediction or building forecasts, this intelligence mining, building models in general, especially time-based models, it seems like it doesn't commoditize as fast as hashing algorithms. So there's not this, because there's so many different ways you can compete. It's a rich environment. So what you're saying might be true over time, but if it is true, it's got a lot longer time to get there.
Also, I don't think it's a problem right now, but hypothetically speaking, if I made my own stream that's like very small in data, and I could put this on the engine and have like my own neurons with like a private solver that just does it super fast, couldn't I cheese the reward system and give myself always the top 100 prediction score? How would you reward based on these different algorithms?
So you're saying if you publish a data stream and then predict it, you can know the future before it happens because you can kind of manipulate stuff and whatever.
More
I'm
like
just
that I have like it depends on how good your system runs. You could either just up the hardware or optimize the software, right? What if I release a specific data stream so I can specify my own neurons to just run that and then point them all to my optimized software and then just basically front run everyone on rewards? How would you
Sure.
handle that?
Yeah. We're not going to let you predict your own data streams, and we're not going to let you choose which data streams you should predict. So that's how we've solved it so far. That's just the first wave of defense, though. There's another wave of defense which says if there is any kind of nefarious activity, it seems like, on a particular data stream or anything like that, then the community has the ability to vote that data stream down, so it's not worth trying to predict to get rewards. You can't earn any rewards on that data stream. So part of that comes back to the community being able to watch the data streams and inspect them and the predictors and have some say in which data streams are actually getting predicted. So that's another thing.
Now, how does it identify one community member's vote? Do you have to have a stake? Like for each staked neuron you have, you get one vote?
That's right.
Let's just say I made 1,000 neurons with nearly the same data stream, and then just keep refreshing my predicting neurons to get at least one of these streams. I don't think the community can realistically vote all of them down, right? And I could still do what I explained before in front run.
Ah, yes, this is the Sybil attack. It always comes back to the Sybil
Exactly.
attack. Yes. So those are our first two lines of defense. We can make other lines of defense if we have to. If it looks like, okay, there's more nefarious actors than we thought, then we can do that. But I think we should probably cross that bridge when we start to see it coming.
I think once more advanced engines start rolling out, it would automatically roll this out anyways. Because then you need real hardware. It might not
Yeah.
be worth to split one CPU into like multiple neurons instead of just putting one GPU per neuron, for example.
Yeah.
Because how I see it right now, if I want to, let's say, convert my mining rig, GPU mining rig, into a Satori node, I would dedicate like a core and a GPU per neuron. instead of like how we have like one CPU system where you can make virtual machines and like run multiple machines. I think that would also relieve the 20,000 neuron cap we have once we start actually putting real hardware instead of like our pies and whatever.
That's that's one reason we're working so hard on the engine, is to improve it so that it's can really take advantage of whatever hardware you have to offer. And we feel like once we do that, then yeah, we can incentivize better and better hardware over time.
Do you perhaps have like a ETA or a queue whenever this might happen?
The first rendition of it, our first version, is in testing right now, and it's looking pretty good. A lot of things are in testing right now, so we're getting them all together, and it's going to be a pretty big update. I'm not sure when that'll happen, but it won't be too long.
In this testing, does it increase the minimum required spec, or would it still be
The minimum would
CPU
still
9?
be the same. Yeah.
All right, thank you. That's all the questions I had for now.
Well, then I have another question in terms of the quality of the predictions which are produced. I mean, you're aiming to predict the future, but how do you measure if you like really predict the future and if you're coming closer to that goal? Is there any KPI which you're following? At which level are we right now? How is that?
At this point right now, we're basically making sure everything's working as expected without really caring too much about the predictions. We're getting the infrastructure up and working as expected. Most of the data streams we have on the network are some weather and crypto prices and maybe a couple of other things, and that's like it. So once we feel like, okay, the engine has been improved, the bugs are taken care of, everything is running, maybe we've even got to the point where we've put out the peer-to-peer. At some point, we will make sure the FRED data is on. The FRED data, any economic data. So I guess the answer to your question, the first step is to make sure we have the right data. So we need to have world data, all the data streams that kind of affect everything else in the world. The price of Doge doesn't affect very many things in the world, but the price of money, the inflation rate, and the whatever else, percentage rate, API, those prices affect everything we do. So we should really focus on predicting them first, and all government statistics, big picture world data streams. Once we are kind of focused on those and the network is predicting those, we can see how well they're predicting. And then we can get into those kind of KPIs and how to improve those predictions.
Okay, understood. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, you want to start like at those big data streams and then get more and more fine detailed over time. Of course, anybody can provide a data stream, so all kinds of data streams will be provided. But my hope is that the community can vote up the ones that we need to predict in order for it to be world to build a world model.
I'm sure you can have a good word with the community that they chose the right one.
All right.
I got another question.
Yeah.
Will was talking about a LLM that was being developed, or close to it at least. Could you explain that a bit?
Sure.
Like, what exactly is it?
So the LLM, in general, the pattern is we have this huge network of predicting neurons, and hopefully we can grow that to be infinitely huge or whatever. So we've got this huge network of neurons, and they're all predicting. I see it as kind of an iceberg. All of those neurons are doing their thing, watching the real world and predicting it. They communicate in predictions or maybe lower level, like Will's latent pool idea. But they communicate basically down there, and most people don't really care about that. You could get those predictions and subscribe and watch them, but what's really going to be valuable is when we can aggregate all those predictions up into layers of LLMs. So really but we can think of it as one. So on top of the iceberg, this part that sticks out of the water, we can think of that as the LLM. It's just the top layer. It's the layer we can see, we interact with it. And the point of it is to give us insight into what the network is predicting. So I don't know. Does that kind of answer your question? That's kind of the point of it.
Can we, as the community, interact with this LLM, or is it just something for the developers
Oh,
to
no, it's not
interact?
just for the community or developers, it's for everybody. So it should be on the website, freely open and available for anybody to query against and just have a conversation with the future.
So how does that work? Is it like I ask it what the temperature will be for tomorrow, and it can query through the data and give me the answer?
Yes, that would be a great use case. I think most people would want to ask questions that isn't directly answered by raw data itself. Most people are like, well, I don't know. But they ask high level questions and they want to have a conversation and they want to say, well, if I make this assumption, does that change what do we think would happen in the future if we hold this as given? And so they want to do hypotheticals and they want to do all this kind of creative reasoning. And so the data has implicit ideas about what the answers would be, and the LLM's job is to suss that out and provide that information to the user.
So it's basically the engine that we are training, just running real time based on my question. If that's what I'm understanding.
The engine that the neuron is training.
Yeah, it's predicting the future, right? So would this LLM incorporate that engine?
Oh, I see. It would consume all the predictions and make models on top of those predictions of how things are correlated and see which neurons are subscribing to which data streams in order to make which predictions. So it has to view all that and kind of see all of it. And so, yes, the predictions are kind of the raw data that the LLM gets trained on, the LLM layer.
So it's basically a real-time future predictor powered by the neurons.
Yeah, powered by the
Previous
network. That's a great way to think of
data.
it. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Think I got my question answered.
I've got to get going here pretty soon. I could probably talk a little bit more, but and then you guys can stay. if anybody has anything to say.
I got one last thing for the bridge. What's the plan on which chains are we planning to build on? I heard some people said they want the base, some people like Ethereum. Is
I'd
there
like to
like
hear
a
what people want. If anybody wants to say anything.
I think the most popular option was Ethereum, I think, from what I read in chat.
Yes, I'm agree too. Ethereum has got a lot of liquidity, like even the most of the liquidity. So if we can bridge or do something over the Ethereum, that will give us a good exposure to the project. What do you guys other think?
I think most would agree. I see a lot of thumbs ups.
Okay, cool. I mean, as we plan out the bridge or whatever we're going to do there, we'll keep that in mind. That's awesome.
And Meta, are we going to stay on the 20K neurons, or what's the story after that?
As long as we have to, we have bottlenecks where we have to at this point. But some of the bottlenecks can be taken care of by the peer-to-peer network, and over time, all of them can. So I don't know how long it'll be before we can increase it or remove that, but I anticipate that in a while, it won't be anytime soon, but in a while we'll be able to increase the number, and we'll probably just continue to increase it. So anyway, that's the plan.
I think a lot of people are also concerned by the speed at which the stake increase happens. Could we change it so instead of +1 it could be a dynamic number, or even just have like a +2, so it puts the new neuron count exactly at 1500, for example? So
I see. Oh, I see. Dynamically, so it brings it down to the midway point. Um, we'll have to talk about it and think about it.
I think for now it's not that high up on the list with things that should be done, but I think some community members were worried about it getting exponentially fast, like exponentially increase for each stake that gets added.
I'm curious. This solution you've come up with like +2 or whatever, does that solve that problem?
I think I don't know where it was posted, but we could see the days it took for each increase and kept like halvening every time. I don't know if it would solve it, but that's why I'm thinking maybe a dynamic system can keep this in check.
Actually, that could be cause another problem because say if we do +2 or 3, say, we will be starting running out of Satori soon to make new neurons.
That's also true.
Yeah, I don't see how it solves it, but you know, if we think about it longer, maybe there's a solution there.
Could also be that there are just that many new users joining. I don't know the exact correlations, if it's based on this system or if Satori is just getting that much more popular.
And if we make a bridge, then it would definitely increase a lot faster.
I think the bridge would also help people with just moving funds from their neuron onto the market and of it. So I think at the moment most people don't really like sending their story to Safe Trade and then keeping it on there, and it takes like 60 confirmations before you can even trade it. So if there's like a somebody that's buying or selling a limit sell or buy, they usually don't get there in time. I think the deck should also improve that aspect.
It depends on how the bridge is made, because if a bridge also takes that confirmation into account, then you'd have to wait anyway.
Yeah, and for most of the people, the safe trade is very easy to use. Like, you don't have KYC and stuff like that, so you just do whatever you want with your coins with the Satori. And we have two exchange already. So, and the trade org is completely dead. So, I don't know what will be the point for now anyway.
Yeah, but if you have your Satori laying in an Ethereum wallet, then you have direct access to it and can sell it directly. Or
That's right.
am I getting that point wrong?
But
Good point.
then again, you would have like a wallet that you can sell from that is also able to stake instead of having
Right.
to shuffle it around. This
Yes, I
could
see.
maybe be implemented in the light version I was talking about. If we can somehow maybe incorporate this into Magic Wallet or another software.
I think someone Zeros will we do that pull in the Magic Wallet. That could be the options. I'm not sure what the stage is in. He's now with the pull in the Magic Wallet, but looks like that could be the what you're saying. That not creating the neurons, just stake Satori without putting neuron on. Yes.
Yeah,
So
also heard from Zeroth he was working on a system like that where you could just keep your funds on your Magic Wallet and it would pool it for you.
Yeah, I agree 100% on that. Let's say some people don't, everyone is not mining. Some people are just buying off the market and they want to stake from their phones. So we need some kind of a wallet on the phone where we can buy and withdraw from the safe trade to the phone in the wallet, and then we can stake all that amount of the stories to the pools, and we get the rewards instead of having a computer or laptop.
I'll bug Zeroth about this because the Ever team is also building the bridge, right? So maybe they can somehow also implement the bridge into the Magic Wallet. So we could have.
they yeah, they're going to do that. I was just chatting with Zoth and Meta actually in the Magic Wallet Discord a couple days ago, and they're implementing a pooling feature. Magic Wallet's going to have their own pool. You'll be able to put anybody's pool address in there. Um, so that is coming in the Magic Wallet. Um, I don't know how far ahead of it, but I mean, from now, but I know they're actively working on it.
I'll bug Zeroth about making this wallet also compatible with the bridge so that we could just instantly move it from the Ever and the Ethereum chains while still allowing it to keep stake.
I think so. It probably will be because like he say that he is working on that bridge anyway to put Ever to bridge with the Ethereum, and doing this pool it kind of makes sense like to connect them together, like but we will see probably in a few weeks.
Because how I see it is if I bridge my ever Satori into each Satori, could I also just stake from my each Satori and then have the ability to, like, in 5 minutes instantly put up a sell order, or put up a sell order while it's still being staked? That should also increase the supply or on the exchanges instead of what we have right now.
Yeah, so anyone have more question, guys? To me, that he's still here, and any other questions relate to Satori or whatsoever?
Outside of crypto, what main data streams we can put in which will give more exposure to the story engine, AI engine for predictions outside of crypto? What are the mainly things you can see that we can put data streams into?
Did you say put data streams into?
What I mean to say is like we have seen a lot of like crypto BTC and other crypto projects as a data stream so that we can predict their price. Instead of crypto, what else, what other options we can put in the software so that we can use more exposure of the
Ah,
story prediction model? Yes.
I see. So it seems like you're asking about what other kind of data streams could we use or could we build?
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Um, I think any government statistic data streams would be very valuable. So because the government tracks large things, but also large economic indicators would be very valuable as well. Um, the Fred data, that would all be nice. Um, I think there's a
Commodities, all the
commodity.
commodities.
Yeah, the Bureau of Labor, they put out a bunch of data streams. BLS, Bureau of Labor Statistics. I think they put out a bunch of data streams that would be useful. Um, so yeah, I would say those ones would probably be very useful.
Live shipping prices, wait times at the shipping ports would be successful. We've got a lot of weather data in there. There's a lot more weather data that could be used as far as temperatures in oceans and wave heights. There's if you look at was it livecharts.co.uk, unfortunately they don't have any APIs, but they've got tons of data that is the kind of data, uranium prices, which are, commodities and stuff, tin, cobalt, all of these, I think would be useful. The different types of crude oil and their prices, because there's different types of crude oil production numbers for a lot of these rare earth metals and things. All of this data is available out there. A lot of this data is not free, or if it is free, you can only get once a day, or you hit a 30, you can ask for the data 30, only a certain amount of times. Of course, the way around that is to have a group of neurons that are all going for the same data, but they're doing it off, they're coordinating. So it's a different neuron from a different IP hitting it every hour. So it doesn't look like it's just one person asking for, if you want to get around having to pay for it. But it's all out there. There's tons, anything that's an API. Oh, I found one recently that I posted, the hub, AGIS hub. GIS is uh, a geo information system, which is an incredible tool. and it has APIs, but there's 200,000 public databases out there that use the GIS system and publish their data. And I did post that, I think, marketing or someplace on Discord. I can post it again. But they get down to traffic data in local cities or sewage numbers, which all of these things in a large AI model, you just don't know how valuable they could be.
That's right.
So that's
And
the kind of
yeah, that's all like real world data stuff. We're also part of the real world, so we should measure ourselves. And so, a lot of the things that we like measuring where our attention is going, such as like market sentiment in all kinds of markets, I think would be pretty valuable. But anyway, yeah, just a bunch of ideas there.
Yeah. And do you guys think it's a good idea if we add a different channel in the Discord for this as so that we can get connected, and you guys gave us ideas as like you guys know a lot, and then community can get that couple of things read from you as you guys write that, so that we can work in the different variations to give some extra exposure to the engine or the data streams.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Data stream channel.
Actually, we
Yeah,
have that
data
channel
stream
already.
channels. Sorry.
we have one.
It is already. Yeah, we have one already.
Oh, sweet.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
And look, you'll see that hub that I just reposted it. You can see it right there. I just
Yeah.
posted it in there.
Time to time or day to day, whenever somebody hit a new idea in their mind, they just put in and pin and this and that, so that you create a group. Okay, today we are talking about this certain type of stuff. Every community member should say something about on this topic. Next day, something else. Next day, so that we go something
So
like
like,
this,
yeah,
or
now
maybe
why we have those crypto data, like because we live in our like with the crypto bubbles, and those data from crypto markets, they are free, they're very easy to get them. The next step, we will be putting, like, we have them temperatures and other kind of data, and from the global world, like Deadhead was saying, there's plenty of the logistic data out there, or statistics data, or government data. And what I can see, like, we all see the Satori will be going in the kind of different way, that everyone see the Satori differently. So what I can see, it will be like at the last point, those companies, what we are building Satori to predictive future, they will be actually aggregating those data to the Satori by self. That will be the best idea thing.
And are we? I agree. Are we competing with someone, or are we the first one in this AI decentralized data prediction engine, or do we have any other around?
Does
Don't
anybody
see us
know?
as
I mean,
I don't see us as competing with anybody, honestly, because what you're creating is a system that the people can use. It's as Meta was kind of saying, he's gonna, he sees this as a world predictor, and then anybody can come in and use it how they need to use it, and away from corporate or government control. Now, are there other projects out there doing? There's 1,000 of them. There's a couple that are doing that I've seen that are similar to this, but do I consider them competition? No, because I don't see Satori as a competition at all. We're lucky that we have a coin that has a price on it, basically at this point, because if it weren't for the graces of safe trade, we wouldn't even have the coins would be a complete utility token. So I don't, and I'm glad Meta doesn't think, or at least I get the feeling that the price of the coin is not a driver to this project at all. Because he planned, from what I understand, that was not a consideration at this point in development. So competition, what would be someone what, building a better coin? What are we competing with? That would be my question. What's competition in what
No, I
arena?
mean, to say, is there any other kind of project or any other software or anything else who is doing the same thing, or are we the first ones
First ones I've seen that's
with the
diversified
limited
like this.
supply, with the open to everyone, with everyone as a decentralized as well, and with all those features we have, like everything in one bag? Is there anyone else or in the same?
There's no one else. It's a first.
I've seen nobody using this model.
Right.
And you know,
There's all
some of
kinds
the
of
things.
projects. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Meta. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, there's all kinds of projects that are out there trying to blend blockchain and AI. And the vast majority of them, to me, like I don't follow all these projects because I'm kind of busy. But from what I've been able to gather, they come in there. There's been about 2 waves of these projects. And the first wave was, let's just make a platform where people can build AI models and we'll just see how it goes. And that's kind of the singularity vision. And then that's been cloned like lots of times. And so there's lots of those. And then, they might start out like very agnostic to the particular type of model that can be created. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so then I've seen other projects that said, well, we're actually going to focus on a niche and we're going to do, a particular type of model or whatever, but we're basically doing the same thing. And, but because they focus on a niche, they might have a little more success. And so for one of those that is time series based is Numer AI, for example. That's been around a long time. And they said, well, we're just going to make predictions about a specific type of time series data. And it's kind of centralized. It's not really the full deal, but we'll use the blockchain just to crowdsource a bunch of human labor. And there you go. So there's been other projects that have been trying to blend blockchain and AI in the time series domain, but I don't think anybody's tried to do it this way. So I guess the answer is I don't think so.
Meta, can I ask you a quick question on that? Do you see Satori as a blending of blockchain and AI, or more as AI as is Satori is an AI project that uses the features of blockchain to manage certain aspects of its business? Because that's really where I see the EVR and stuff as a business management tool for many different businesses.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it. I kind of see the point of blockchain as being able to solve the tragedy of the commons. It allows us to coordinate in a non-hierarchical way on shared resources. So, so we like that from blockchain. We want to be able to manage our shared resources in this way. And then it takes from AI all the intelligence that AI can offer. And the point of intelligence in and of itself is to get the organism to survive. And it does that by giving the organism kind of what's it called? Thoughts or impulses, or it makes it take certain behaviors given certain stimuli at the correct time. So I do kind of see it as a project at the intersection of blockchain and AI. Yeah. that's all very high level. I was talking to the Taoshi people at a conference like a month ago or whenever it was, and the Taoshi people, they're a project on top of BitTensor, really cool guys. I started talking. We started talking about our projects, and I told them about Satori, and they said, "Oh, that sounds a lot. That sounds very similar to how we started out, but because we built on top of BitTensor, we had to conform to certain ways that their validators work, and it's got economic things we had to conform to, and so we had to pivot our business model and everything to this other design that we have. We're still dealing with time series data, but it's really just it's not the same. I mean, they didn't sound depressed about it or anything, but they are saying we're doing this other thing now, and that's one of the reasons we kind of tried to stay away from platforms that try to say, hey, come build your AI solution on our AI platform, is because they have certain requirements and certain things that come along with that, however well-meaning, but they're constraints. And I knew that this idea was probably too big to live within any platform constraints. So that's kind of why we went with EVR and trying to maybe become an omni token so that we can be anywhere. We don't want to have any of those kind of constraints to do this project. We won't be able to complete it. I guess I offer that idea up as an explanation. I mean, maybe that's why there's no other projects that are doing this, is because it's too big to just live within other platforms' constraints.
Right. So, any more questions, guys?
Doesn't look like everything is sorted.
Okay, so I think so. We can slowly finish our second chill and chat meeting with Satori. I think it was very successfully, and I have everything recorded. So probably next day or two, I put that together, and it will be on the YouTube, so you can listen it back again and pick whatever you like it. Thank you for being here, and we talk next time. All right, see you guys.
Thanks. We'll see you.
See you guys. Good luck. Good night.